will you be brave enough to put a scoreline to all you've said?
Well, I think MFM should, defeat Remo Stars 2-0 if the players come to the party. I don't expect MFM to get a draw.
Well, that's a verdict from Joseph Atawe. I had to call his name in full. We have two Josephs in the house. So anytime I say Joseph, so you know the one I'm referring to. Yeah. So Joseph Atawe, hold him to his words. He's saying 2-0. But what about Joseph Mukuzi? How do you think it will go?
Yeah, it's actually the battles of the two highest goal scorers, Victor Mbamo and Stephen Ode. So I think the look of MFN, it's difficult to bet against them. Remo, they tried last week, they were able to get a draw at shooting, which was quite impressive. I didn't expect them to. But coming to MFM, a fortress which it has become, they played against Rangers, lost here. It will be very difficult to bet against MFM. Sikiru, Latu Bosu's form and everything. It's very difficult to bet against them. I think I'm looking at a 3-0 scoreline.
Oh, okay. He's looking at a 3-0.
It's going to be very convincing. It's convincing victory. Very, very.
Okay. There are other interesting matches to be played this weekend in Nigeria Professional Football League, and what we will tell you is to get to any of those venues, and you're guaranteed to get the best of football. And Sikiru Latu Bosu's goal is a testimony to what is on offer in the Nigeria Professional Football League. A lot of interesting games, especially the ones you don't get to see on TV. So do yourself a favor, find any venue close to you, and make sure that you get to see any of those matches played. All right, guys. At this point, I think we could travel abroad and talk about the English Premier League. Maybe we should just start from there. Let me just tell you that at some point we expect to be joined by our friend Segun Jagede from London. But before we go to him, I want to hear your thoughts quickly. Make it quick. English Premier League this weekend. I mean, everybody wants to talk about Arsenal and Liverpool, two teams that are having issues right now. A lot of knocks. Well, Liverpool's manager, the problem maybe not as deep as the Arsenal manager, but a lot of people are disappointed with both managers.
Well, I think I saw the stats today. I mean, in the last 6 matches, both teams, have scored more than 18 goals. I mean, don't forget 7 was scored at the Emirates Stadium. That was the first game of the season, that one. But I think going into tomorrow's game, I don't expect lots of goals, because I think both teams right now would be careful, considering the fact that if that game ends in a draw and Manchester United, well, hopefully defeats Bournemouth in that one, they would leapfrog one of them, depending on the outcome of that game. But don't take away from Liverpool, I beg your pardon. When it comes to the big names, they know how to deal with them. Don't forget they defeated Arsenal at home. If I'm correct, they defeated Chelsea and some other big names. And so Arsenal should not be an exception for them, to battle out and down. But for Arsene Wenger, the problem with the squad right now is that they've got lots of injury worries. I mean, don't forget, most of the games they've won against Liverpool has been won from the midfield. For example, the last 5 games that Kante Kazula was involved, Arsenal has lost just 1. It won't be available due to injury and some other keepers. That might affect Arsenal. But the fact they know, I mean, there's so much at stake. They need to win or get a draw at Anfield tomorrow will make it rather more difficult now. So I don't expect lots of goals. Maybe if Liverpool will win a 1-0 victory, if Arsenal will get something out of that, a 2-1 victory.
All right, okay. Let's go to London now quickly and join Segun, who is waiting to join us. Hello, Segun, if you can hear me. Thanks for taking our time to speak with us. Okay, it's nice having you. Let's quickly talk about the English Premier League. Of course, our interest will be Nigerian and African players. Let's just put in context Arsenal and Liverpool. Few players of Nigeria and Africans will be involved. So let's talk about that one before we go into all the other issues that we will talk about.
Hello.
Yeah.
Good evening. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go on.
Fantastic. Well, tomorrow's game is going to be, I don't even know what to use for it, but it's a banana skin game because Arsenal, they're having a bad run now. Liverpool, they've just been defeated by Leicester City as well. So what's going to come out of that? I really can't say, to be honest. I would like to think that both teams will go out and show their best. I'm actually predicting a draw, but in football, anything can happen. But as for the African players playing, I think right about now, there's a lot of pressure always on, as a footballer. But South Africans as well, they carry the continent up in their shoulders. So we're hoping for a very, very good game. So let's wait and see what happens.
All right, let's talk about something that is becoming a threat to the English Premier League, and that's the Chinese League. A lot of players getting their head turned around now. How do you react to this? The other time it was Diego Costa. I mean, they can price away any player. Has this affected the stability of the English Premier League?
Well, to be honest with you, it's not only about the Premier League. It's about, this football is a big business. When you look at the economics of football, you look at different stakeholders. You've got the footballers, you've got the clubs, and you've got the agents, you've got the fans. But what you have to look at is the major stakeholders in football are the clubs. So if Club A has enormous amount of funds, most likely they're going to get players from Club B. Now, it's not. Sometimes I think people get the wrong impression as well, because often at times players can come out and talk about how all these things pan out. Sometimes, a lot of players don't actually. Well, people think they want to go for the money, which is the sensible thing. But sometimes the selling club might be like, you know what? We're not going to let you go to a cheaper club. We're not going to let you go to a club that's going to pay less. We want the money. But obviously, the clubs are not going to say that to the fans. So it's a bit of a, sometimes there's a lot of confusion. But at the end of the day, everybody blames the player. But Chinese Super League, they're out there to get the best of the best players. If care is not taken, I think a lot of players will go there, because players, right about before, if you went to play in a league that is not highly rated, people will be like, oh, you're coming towards the end of your career. But we've seen loads of players go to China and come back. We've seen DJ Drogba, we've seen Anelka, we've seen loads of different players. So it is going to be an issue, but I think FIFA is stepping in as well. They're going to put a cap to the number of players that the Chinese Super League can buy. I'm not sure if that is a thing that's happening in China itself. I think they're going to put a cap on foreigners anyway. So we have to wait and see how things pan out. But right about now, everybody's going for the China money. That's what I can say.